Are you tired of watching Claude Code transform your project into pools of dirty river slop? After a long vibe debugging session, does 95% PDoom feel like a hopeful expression? Well, you can close that emotional support tab of that alien message. I've got a new class of agentic workflows called Metagames to help us spend more time building and less time yelling at our laptops. If that sounds good to you, let's get at it. I'm Glassbead. Thanks for joining me. Trick Cheney, play us in. The metagame that we're going to look at in this video is called Ulysses Protocol. Metagames are closed-loop, cyclical workflows that let agents work in complex problem spaces using simple patterns. In this case, that pattern is plan 2 steps ahead, execute 1, evaluate results, and then adapt in a controlled loop. When we plan steps ahead, we describe the target state that we want to see in our code as a result of taking that step. These are our expectations. We describe what our next best step is, then we describe what the step after that should be if our expectation didn't match the reality of what we got. So we have step 0, our current state, step 1, our next best step, and step 2, our plan if our first step has an unexpected outcome. If our first step goes like we expected, great. Our state after taking that first step is now our new step 0, and we will log a checkpoint. If it doesn't, that's fine. We evaluate what type of failure mode we're in, and then we execute step 2. If our second step goes like we expected, again, great. Our state after taking that second step is now our new step 0. But now if we have 2 outcomes that we didn't expect in a row, we're going to rewind back to our original step 0. That is our most recent checkpoint. And we're going to pause and do some consideration. We will examine what went wrong, theorize about why our reality didn't match our expectation when we executed those 2 steps, describe a new step 1 and step 2, and then finally repeat this Ulysses loop from before. By using Ulysses Protocol, our agents can avoid rabbit holing during extended workflows and give other agents a map of the process so far in case of interruptions. Now, I know all that was pretty abstract already, so I don't want to bog us down in the structure of a metagame, which is a topic for an upcoming video, but I do want to show you some of the components. This particular expression of Ulysses is a Claude Code / command, so I have some variables declared up here at the top to let the user pass in some arguments. There's a JSON state object that gives the agent a space to keep up with its work. And we have some instructions for the agent to reference in regard to get and game state, how the user's arguments should alter gameplay, and other important implementation details. All right, and we are done talking about it. Let's use it. We're going to use Ulysses Protocol to help us refactor an example server from Smithery to use the effect library. Smithery is a leading MCP registry, and effect is a TypeScript library for writing functional code in TS. The server that we're going to be migrating is a fork of the original MCP reasoning server, Sequential Thinking. I've already generated some specifications for us to implement, and I have our Ulysses Protocol workflow here in the .claude folder. Looking here at the workflow, you can see that we've got a few variables here. Some of them have defaults, some of them don't. For my problem statement, I'm going to say implement the spec at that and say phase 1. Cool. Let's just say utilizing the Ulysses protocol. Iteration limit. That's fine. We'll just change it to 0.97. Stakes, we'll say hi. And developer comments. Utilize your MCP tools where necessary to perform research on the effect library. These servers may include EXA and Context 7. We'll just go back and format. Okay, and let's see what we get. So Claude Code, hopefully, is going to follow this workflow, and we'll get to see that happen. All right, so it's just created the initial state object. It's performing research, as instructed. All right, so it's just working its way through the problems as they come. I am looking to see if it's properly understood what we were trying to get across with the stepwise process. What I ended up discovering was that the agent needed some more clarity here on the step 0, step 1, step 2 pattern. So I had Claude Code write that into the Ulysses protocol, and now we are going to proceed as we were. All right, there we go. There we go. So it's going and resetting the state. All right, we have success. We've got one issue that doesn't seem to affect the build. So now our outcome is becoming our new baseline, and we return to state step 0 to come up with a new plan. So this has just been one short example of how gamified agentic workflows can drastically improve agent experience. I'm happy to introduce Metagames to the agentic AI community, and your feedback will help me show you more of what you want to see. If you like what you just saw, hit like and subscribe, and whether you did or didn't like it, leave a comment below. Thank you very much. That's our show. Have a good one.